Hobbies, Gardening, and Prepping. My name is Teresa. I'd like to welcome you once again back into the kitchen, where today we're going to make an old-fashioned vintage recipe, and it's homemade corn dogs. I absolutely love homemade corn dogs, because any corn dog you try to get now is all sweet. They either got honey or they got sugar in it, and it ruins it for me. I like the old-fashioned corn dogs when I was a child, when they weren't sweet. It was wonderful. So we're going to get busy here making corn dogs. Okay, first we're going to make our cornbread. Now, in this bowl, I have a double batch of cornbread. I will have the recipe for the single batch in the description box below. I'm making a whole lot of corn dogs, so I'm making a double batch. I have my cornmeal, my flour, my baking powder, and a little pepper, and some Himalayan pink salt. Now, first off, you want to soak your popsicle sticks, and you can find them at Buck and a Quarter Tree or anywhere else that you can buy crafts, wooden popsicle sticks for crafts. Now I got a half of a stick of butter here, melted, and I'm going to want 4 eggs. I absolutely love making homemade corn dogs. They just taste so much better. Oh, and I also have beef hot dogs. Good hot dogs this time, not them nasty things. And Jane is already circling around, waiting for her own corn dog. And those will go straight into the mix. I have buttermilk here. You can use whole milk, 2%, whichever one you prefer. I'm going to need 2½ cups. And we'll see how dry my flour is and my cornmeal. I might need a little bit more, because you don't want your batter real thick, but you don't want it runny, and that way it'll be able to stick onto the hot dog. And it used to be a whole lot of fun going to the fairs and the carnivals when I was a kid. Corn dogs were cheap and they were delicious. Nowadays, they're just nasty because of all the sugar, honey, and they just don't taste good. I don't like sweet corn dogs. And if you have a favorite cornbread recipe, use that one. But for the love of God, don't use that nasty Jiffy Jiffy Mix crap. That's just nasty. Alright, we're going to set our cornbread aside. That's ready to go. Put that in the sink. Check on the steak fries, because we're having corn dogs and steak fries. And like I said, these are beef hot dogs. As you can see, I already got most of them toothpicked. Well, not toothpicked, but popsicle sticks. And these are the thinner, real popsicle sticks, not those great big ones. And you're going to take your hot dog and you want, you can use shish kebab sticks if you want to, but you want to use the bigger ones so they actually have something to support them. And you just keep on. And of course you can use whatever hot dogs you love, whatever brand it is. Of course Jana is hovering like a buzzard because she knows I've already promised her a corn dog. She might get two, who knows. Ain't that right, Jana? She's in the kitchen with me waiting. And you want to try to get them on as straight as possible. You want a little bit of popsicle stick left out so you have something to be able to support it. And I told you, she's waiting patiently. Okay, and I gotta put my buttermilk up. Bowl, pour that bowl of water out. Let me wash my hands real fast. You want to get that hot dog juice everywhere. Now you want a good pan, a deep pan that you can fry in. Of course, cast iron is your best. You're going to want to use, please don't use canola oil. That stuff's nasty. I'm using corn oil. I prefer peanut oil, but we got corn oil at the moment, and that's what we're going to use. Now, I'm going to get the oil hot. I will bring you back here in just a little bit, and we're going to start making some corn dogs. Okay, the oil is finally hot enough. You want your oil at 350. I thinned my cornbread batter down just a little bit, not much. You don't want it too runny, but you want it just right so that you can take your hot dog. You kind of want your hot dog dry and twirl it around. Let some of the excess drip off. Let it run back down. And into the oil it goes. Now, will your corn dog look perfect just like you see everywhere else? No, not necessarily. But you know what? It's going to taste a whole lot better. And so you're going to take another one. You want to make sure you twirl it around. Make sure you get it all over. covering the hot dog well. And you want to cook them until they're golden brown. My oil's almost there. It needs to get just a little bit hotter, because you don't want them to take too long to fry, because then your cornbread will get oil soaked. A lot of people don't know the first patent for a machine to make corn dogs happened in 1927. And that was a machine that would dip all the corn dogs for you. Personally, I'd rather do it by hand. They're a whole lot better. And you're going to want a plate with a colander and paper towels in it. So that way when your corn dogs are done, I'm going to have to let my oil get just a tad bit hotter. But anything wrong with these? Not at all. And they're homemade. And they're going to taste a whole lot better than what you get anywhere. Now when you go to put them in the colander, put them stick up. That way when you get ready to eat, you can just grab a hold of the stick. But see how beautiful? Homemade corn dog. And you want to let them get a good golden brown. Next thing you need, a little mustard and ketchup. Beautiful and golden brown. And before you do the next one, always stir your cornbread mix. That ain't a cornbread mix, your cornbread batter. And just remember, twirl it around into the hot oil. Do they have to be perfect? No, they don't. Because you know what? They're homemade. Simple, easy, delicious vintage recipe. And an old-fashioned recipe. Because, yeah, you can't get a hold of real corn dogs anymore, hardly at all, unless you make them from scratch. Because like I said, they all want to make them sweet, and they just taste nasty to me. Now, you're going to want to make sure that you get all the sides of the corn dog golden brown. And you don't want your cornbread batter too thick at all on your hot dogs, because it won't get it won't get done. And you need to give these time to cool before you attempt to eat them, because they'll burn you. It's been a while since I got to make homemade corn dogs, and I love to do it. And I'll tell you right now, it's a whole lot cheaper to make them from scratch. You use regular mustard, stone ground mustard, horseradish mustard, what is it, German mustard, or eat them plain, or ketchup. I don't eat them very often, but my favorite way is take some ketchup and mix mustard together and make a dip. I don't eat a whole lot of condiments, but I like that mixture. I am being watched hot and heavy by Jana. She smells it. She knows I'm in the kitchen cooking. Her aunt is in the kitchen cooking, and she has to be here watching. Like I said, you just want to make sure that they get a beautiful golden brown. And don't worry one bit if some dough gets on the popsicle stick, it ain't gonna hurt a bit. See, you just put the hot dog in, twist, twist. Don't worry about it being perfect. Put them in. And once your oil gets up to temp, it won't take long to cook them. It won't take long at all. I will bring you back as soon as I get all these cooked. See you here after a while. Okay, I am finally on my last three. Now, a hint for those who are using a deep bowl like me, you can turn your bowl sideways. Just make sure your cornbread batter doesn't fall out. And just twist it, and drop it. Don't worry about making your corn dogs perfect. The object of the game is having fun, reliving childhood memories, hopefully good ones, and making you some homemade corn dogs. Now, there used to be, when I was a kid, because I paid attention to a lot of the vendor booths, there was one corn dog, or sometimes they were called pronto pups. There was one concession stand that they put their batter in a red Solo cup, and they would dip the hot dog down in and drop it in the grease. Now, I'm out of hot dogs. I still have batter left. You can put that in a hot cast iron pan and bake you some cornbread. You could add some diced onions or some garlic and add a little cornmeal, more cornmeal to it. Make you some hush puppies. Don't you waste that batter. Don't waste it. And thankfully, I am about done. I've got these last three to make. Look at that big bowl of happiness, y'all. And while these last three finish cooking, I'm going to show you how they taste. Now me, as a kid, I'd always slide the stick off. Let me turn the camera down a little bit. And I got my ketchup, low sugar, no high fructose corn syrup, y'all. You can get good ketchup out there. Got some mustard mixed in. Mix that up real good, best of both worlds. And of course this is one of the first ones, so I know it's cooled down. You don't realize how happy it makes me to be able to bite into a hot dog, a corn dog that's not sickeningly sweet, that don't have honey, that don't have sugar in it. All natural, just like the corn dogs when we were kids, well, when I was a kid. Simple, easy, homemade. I'll have the single batch cornbread recipe or cornbread batter recipe in the box below. If you have a cornbread recipe that you prefer, use that one. Just make sure that it's just a little bit thin. You see how it rolls? You don't want it too thin because it'll fall off the hot dog. And just make sure you get your oil up to 350. Be safe. Once you're done, use pot holders, put your pan away to the back so it'll cool off. Strain that oil, strain it, and you can reuse it again. Now, any little bits and pieces that might be floating in the pot while you're cooking your corn dogs, dip those out. A lot of people like the crunchy bits. And don't worry, it's time to have fun. Your corn dogs don't have to look perfect. See? I got all kinds of little weird, I'll call this one beaker. Your corn dogs don't have to be perfect, y'all. As long as you have fun and you enjoy yourself. And you keep this old-fashioned vintage recipe alive. And you can enjoy your own homemade corn dogs without sugar in them. There's no sugar in mine at all. None whatsoever. Just like it's supposed to be. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Hold on. I'm trying to bend down and talk to you. I hope you've enjoyed this video and it encourages you to make you or your family or your friends homemade corn dogs, and remember what they're supposed to taste like. Just make sure that you get them good and golden brown. You have some mustard or some ketchup and have fun, y'all. You can also use, you don't want to use the great big ones, but you can do the smaller smoked sausage this way. The smaller hot links, good hot dogs, y'all, not them nasty hot dogs. Simple, easy, homemade, a childhood favorite of mine. Since these are about done, I'm going to cut this heat off. Because believe me, be careful. I'm watching my corn dog because I am so ready to eat that. Just make sure that they get a good golden brown. And you have paper towels for them to drain on. Simple, easy, homemade. Enjoy things while we still can. I hope this encourages you to make your own. Homemade, from scratch, old-fashioned corn dogs. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask them in the comment section below. I will answer them as soon as possible. I'm going to come back here in a bit because I'm ready to sit down after all that. Just make sure you don't waste that batter because it is perfectly good as hush puppies. You can make you some more corn dogs. But I'm fixing to feed my family. Move that so nobody can get hurt. I'm going to let that cool down, strain it, and have it for another time. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask them in the comment section below. I look forward to seeing you in my next video, and I hope this video brings you many happy memories of your childhood like it has mine. Everyone, take care, stay positive, continue to prep your pantries, and remember, you got this. I look forward to seeing you in my next video, and may you each be blessed. Y'all take care.